Good day, this is Oscar. Sunday morning. I'm doing okay. I haven't shaved yet or washed up. It's pretty early. I just had breakfast. I'm gonna get cleaned up. We'll take a shower right away. But I just want to let you know that I spent about 3 hours last night studying chemtrails and geoengineering, stratogenic aerosol. Basically airplanes that are dropping chemicals and leaving trails and hash marks all over the sky. Started, first of all, a year ago noticing it, and then I noticed it in Burbank, and I noticed it over in some other cities and different places all over, and I thought, this is unusual. And first you pass it off as, well, it's just the airplanes going, and then I noticed that that's not the case, because I've lived by this airport all my life. And there's a difference now. And so there's all these airplanes going over and dropping these trails of chemicals or whatever it might be. And so I started thinking, well, this is not cool unless it's okay and it's affecting maybe they're doing it commercially for the reasons of cell phone transmission or radio frequencies and stuff like that to help the atmospheric air. I started doing some research, and there's all kinds of history on climate control, the ability to use chemicals to adjust climate, refract sunlight back into the atmosphere and stuff like that. And so anyway, I started looking up a little bit thing about these chemtrails. And they do exist. There's a rise in aluminum and barium in the soil all over the place, and people are really worried. In America, they're thinking, well, there's a secret, government's not talking about it, so somebody's doing something in secret against us, and they start suspecting like conspiracies and depopulation and problems like that. And so I found a whole bunch of research on that people are thinking that, the government is controlling the people and contaminating their food because it's destroying vast amounts of growing territory, agriculture areas. It's changing the acidity of the soil and the mineral content of the soil by dropping so much of it. And so they're thinking that the government's poisoning the people. Well, anyway, that was kind of a couple hours on that, and then I realized I went to Canada and over to Europe and Hawaii and different places that, well, not Hawaii. Hawaii was part of the U.S. research, but that the military was questioned about that, and they said nothing in the U.S., the response to the U.S. concerns. So they're thinking, well, people are underhandedly doing something. Well, it turns out that the military has their own agenda, and they are trying to advance their technology, and they are actually spraying chemicals into the air, aluminum and barium, to create increased electro, well, it increases the ability for it allows for radar to detect on the curve of the Earth, where typically radar is straight out, straight back. When you put these electrolytes or elements of aluminum and barium and strontium into the atmosphere, it creates a medium where you can run your radar along the curve of the Earth and back and get much better technology and control. And so for radio, okay, you could everything, cell phones to TV and regular broadcast radio, and everything is all radio, and then we got radar. So they're using that to increase the efficiency of it and direction of it. X-ray, they're also working with HARP, a organization that's dealing with high energy radio frequencies to control weather systems, break up clouds. They can see pinpoint objectives. Anyway, it turns out that from a conspiracy theory in America, people don't know what's going on, because that's why people think, well, what's going on? There's no information, so they think somebody's working against them. But when you go to Canada and Europe, it turns out that it's just the military advancing their technology, and they're not telling anybody about it. It's none of your business. We're doing it to increase our experimentation and advancement in technology. So now it's a complete story. I feel really great that I've been informed and informed myself. So I got the full picture. You got to go out of the U.S. sometimes to get another approach on things, because people are, if they don't have enough information, they just start suspecting things and creating theories and illusions and stuff, and they're all valid, and I'm sure you need to maintain that in your observation of knowledge. But the U.S. and NATO countries are using that technology in full swing, and they're not telling anybody about it. And people, it's existing because they have research and they see the dropping of the chemicals, and they're doing testing, so everybody knows about it and nobody's talking, so everybody's suspicious. But it's the military advancing in their technology and weather changing, increasing radio frequencies for monitoring, surveillance, and satellites, and all of the above. Weather changing and military, you hope the best. Anyway, it affects the aluminum in the soil, it affects the acidity in the soil, it's poisoning the soil, it's causing trouble, in the environment. There's a lot of problems associated with it. It's not an unanswered, it's not a completed subject for sure. Anyway, in about 5 hours, I got a pretty good picture of what's going on, so I'm not freaking out about what the heck's doing. My children and my raspberries aren't growing. I'm gonna have my soil tested and figure out if we have to rejuvenate the soil. There's trails all over the place around here in the Puget Sound area. It's like insane. I mean, you really gotta try to find out as much as you can and then live a life with that in consideration. And I mean, hate to have to relocate because it's all everywhere, acid rain. If they're doing it in Hawaii, if they're dumping the chemicals in Hawaii, which is factual, it's coming this way anyway. I'm in the Puget Sound area, so it's all coming into California and Washington anyway. So anyway, I might be coming into a new idea. Rather than doing vlogs, go into investigative journalism, investigative video. A lot of people doing it, but got to hit a certain amount of people that need that information.